Hello and welcome to a Sunday morning United ramble on the United stand. All the latest transfer news and Manchester United news as well. I really enjoy doing these, so I hope you do as well. I know you've been dropping a lot of likes on the videos when we do it, so do that if you do. But let's fly into the latest transfer news. Robbie is with us as well. So Patrice Evra, let's start with him. I can't see this deal happening. I've been up and down like a bit like an Arsenal fan. Wenger in, Wenger out, Giroud shit, Giroud's good. I like Patrice Evra. He's a United great atmosphere, great personality, would bring a lot to the team. But I remember vividly when he was at United the last couple of years, a lot of United fans had had enough of him because he was going forward all the time and he didn't have the legs to get back. 3 years on it would be in the summer. He can't offer us anything in the Premier League other than the odd cameo. What he can offer us in the dressing room is great. There's Robbie in the Mac drop, look. What he can offer for us in the dressing room is fantastic, but he's got to be coming back as a coach for me. His agent's come out and said that he's not necessarily going to move this month anyway, and hinted at a coaching role, but Valencia are interested in him. As I said yesterday on the watch along, Valencia would be a good move for him. It's a bit of a pub team. They're not a bit of a pub team, although they've not been doing that great, have they? As Gary Neville will atone to, but the league is a bit of a pub league beyond 3 or 4 teams, so it wouldn't be as quick paced. I mean, somebody messaged me the other day. I want to talk about some of your comments because some of them were brilliant. There's a really good one about Rooney. Somebody said to me the other day the German league and the Italian league is far quicker than the German league and the Spanish league is quicker than the British league, than the Premier League, because Pep said so. Oh yeah, the Tower of Pep. We listen to what Pep's got to say, don't we? Absolute nonsense. The Premier League is the quickest, most competitive and physical league in the world. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the most the league with the most ability in it, but certainly is the most competitive physically, and it's definitely the fastest. It's 100 miles an hour. It's a bit like pub football actually sometimes, with the ball just being booted forward and back. Now it's better than that, but it is the most. So Evra for me, Trent as a coach would be okay. Who else? Bakayoko mentioned as well. I want to mention him. We've mentioned him too. At Monaco, midfielder, destroyer in the mould of he's 6 foot, in the mould of a Matuidi, a Kante, that sort of midfielder, can really break up the midfield, and the sort of long-term replacement for Carrick, which a few of you have asked us to do a video on that. We are going to do a video on Carrick and his replacement, but I don't think it's something you can just do a video on. You've got to take a little bit of time about it and think it through, because I personally am sort of leaning to the point that I don't think you can replace Carrick like for like. I think he's a one-off, totally abused by England. I mean, Emil Heskey's got more caps than nearly double the caps that Carrick's got, and Carrick's a one-off. I mean, in the time we've been doing the United stand, in the whole time I've been watching United with Carrick in it, I've always been a massive fan of him. I think Carrick, if you understand him, you understand football. It's not about scoring 40-yard screamers or running past 10 people. What Carrick does is run a game positionally. It's a joy to watch, and it'll be so sad when he retires, but he's still got legs left in him yet, which is great. But a replacement for him, I don't think you can do like for like. So I personally think a Bakayoko sort of thing might be a different way to go. You know, somebody who's just like Kante for Chelsea, just full of energy, pressing, breaks the ball up, and then gives it to people like Pogba. Which, you know, evolution is what football's all about. United have been about it for years. You don't have to replace Carrick like for like. And I think that's what the road I would go down. But so Bakayoko at Monaco, I can't see us doing that deal in January, but I think Duncan Castles, who was close to Mourinho, has sort of come out and mentioned him. But Monaco is still in the Champions League, so I can't see that deal, but I would like him in the summer. Lindelof, we've got to mention that. The British press is suddenly backtracking and saying, oh, it appears the deal might be done now. It was always there to be done. It was never pulled out of. It was always a deal that Manchester United were interested in, and the issue with it is the fee and his previous club, which is apparently being ironed out between Benfica and his previous club. Manchester United are ready to sign him, and I still expect us to sign Lindelof. 22, 6'2". We need a centre-back. Obviously Rojo got injured yesterday, so I'll be amazed if we're not going to sign him. But we're certainly going to sign a centre-back, so I think that will happen. I expected it to happen this week. Last week, if it doesn't happen this week, we're going into tougher, you know, with all due respect, Reading yesterday, Hull on Tuesday, they're games we should win, but when the league starts kicking in again, you don't want to be left short at the back, so I expect us to make that signing this week. Semedo, Nelson Semedo at Benfica, right back, 23, linked to him. I don't know what sort of fee we'd be paying for him, but he is you know, as a backup to Valencia and somebody to take over that throne. I think it's a clever signing. Apparently Bayern Munich are interested in him. Ding dong, ring any bells? Renato Sanchez. This is what happened, isn't it? We were heavily linked with him for a long time, scouted him, etc. And then Bayern Munich came in and took him in our uncertainty. I can't see Mourinho getting usurped by Bayern Munich. To be honest, if he wants him, I think he will get him. But keep an eye on that one. I think we need a right back. Valencia is very good, but beyond him, it's slim pickings. On the subject of right backs, Darmian, talk of him going to Juventus. The thing about Darmian is he didn't play yesterday against Reading, and he is a player that Jose didn't use yesterday. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts against Hull. Mourinho seems to quite like him, so I think that was an interesting one to wait and see what happens with that. Darmian, Schneiderlin and Memphis, obviously, just very quickly, they'll be going at some point. Nothing to add on those. I think Schneiderlin, there's a bit of waiting around with the fee, and Memphis, there's nothing been heard about him, so we don't know what's going to happen with that, but he certainly will go this month. I'm trying to think, there's another transfer deal that I can't remember it, that I was reading about before I came out. I think it maybe was the Lindelof one. So taking the countryside while I have a little think. Where are you going? All right. But interesting though, let's just talk about Manchester United for a minute. Top 4 is obviously what we would have been hoping to get a month ago when we were sort of like cut adrift. And we're well in that race now. I cannot wait. I mean, I'm looking forward to the Hull game on Tuesday. I think if we win that well enough, we're playing on a Thursday the following week in a League Cup second rag. That's really ridiculous. I thought we had a break from this rubbish Thursday night football, and we've got to play them on a Thursday. But Liverpool a week today at 4 o'clock. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for it. Definitely going to be getting involved in that and goading them. Olivia! We'll probably turn and walk back. So my eldest is just out with her friend and they've gone the wrong way. There's a dog coming. So yes, the top 4 would have been what we were looking at. Liverpool next week is absolutely huge. Can't wait for that. And I think we'll win that. We'll get within a couple of points of them. And then anything's possible in relation to the league. All right, we'll turn and go back this way now. But we're in 4 competitions. I don't think any other club's in that. You've got the Europa League, you've got obviously the top 4, potentially the Premier League, the League Cup, the FA Cup. So it's a very exciting time to be a United fan. And I can't see as the form we're in, and form is never permanent, is it? Class is permanent. The form will dip, and we could drop out of a couple of those. But as the way things stands at the moment, I can't really see us dropping out of. Well, the League Cup, I think we're going all the way to the final. 2 legs against Hull. The FA Cup, we'll have to see who we get today. It's gone very dark for a day shot, hasn't it? And it's not dark, it's quite pleasant. The league, win against Liverpool next week. We do need teams to still drop a few points ahead of us, but consistency is going to be the key. And it'd be very hard to maintain because we saw with Chelsea, they couldn't maintain that run they were on. It's hard to keep winning week in, week out, but we've given ourselves a fantastic chance by doing that. The league's my priority. We've got to get Champions League football, and there's only two opportunities to do that. It's either top 4 in the league or it's the Europa League. So that's the priority, and that's the one I want to put all our eggs into the basket, so to speak. So hopefully we'll keep maintaining that form. That's better. So yeah, Hull on Tuesday will win that. Liverpool, as I was saying, can't wait. Really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a tense game. I'm not saying we're going to win it 3 or 4-0 like some people are. I'll take 1-0. It's just about the 3 points. I know people concern themselves with goal difference, but it really is just about the points. And who knows what will happen. Liverpool getting all excited because Coutinho's back. I couldn't give a damn if Kenny Dalglish is back or Ian Rush. The reality is, come on, let's get a move on, because these people seem to think it's a great idea to follow us. Idiots. So yeah, I'll be really happy with that. Any sort of win. And I'm not fussed if Coutinho's back. Obviously, they haven't got Mane, but we haven't got Bailly. it'll come down to a cold run at Old Trafford. There was no atmosphere at Anfield when we went there in the 0-0 game. They completely bottled it, trying to break us down. Fair play to Mourinho. We were playing at a time when results weren't really going our way. We weren't playing football, so he shut up shop and took a point. And actually what we did, we gained a point. They dropped 3 points, and look at it now. We can be within 2 points of them, so I ain't got a problem with that. I don't think it'll be like that at Old Trafford next week. I think we'll grind out a result, and that's what we need. Great comment on one of the comments for the video we did yesterday about the match and Wayne Rooney specifically. I do read the comments on your videos that you put out. I don't get to reply to them all, unfortunately, because of time, but I do read them all. I'm not going to shout out the person who said it because I suspect he might get a bit of stick, but I do actually agree with the comment. It made me think. What he basically said is, well done to Wayne Rooney for breaking that record yesterday, but the Rooney in brigade who want him to play against Liverpool, if he plays against Liverpool next week, we won't win the game. And I thought, would I stretch that far? I've got more faith in the Old Trafford faithful and United, how they raise it against Liverpool at Old Trafford, that we will beat them even if Rooney starts. But I get the point. I get the point. The reality is, whatever the defence is, and the defence is very hard to call what our best defence is this season. Very, very hard to call because it's been, players out of form, injuries, etc. It's hard to pick who our defence is. But goalkeeper obviously picks himself. But apart from that, when you're talking about midfield and attack, I don't know whether you agree with me, but Carrick, Herrera and Pogba pick themselves as a perfect midfield three and the best midfield three in the Premier League at the moment. And with the way people are playing, Mkhitaryan has to play on the right, Anthony Martial has to play on the left, and Zlatan plays up front. And I think Marcus Rashford is unlucky. He's a fantastic player. I was saying this yesterday. A lot of people were saying, well, Rooney's miles ahead of what Rashford was at that age, and he is. But Rooney, although he was at Manchester United at the age Rashford's in, Rooney was playing, for Everton, wasn't he? If Marcus Rashford was not at Manchester United, he'd be playing week in, week out, and his development would be going up. So I think Rashford's got certain traits that are just years ahead of whatever Rooney had. But Rooney was the better player at that time. Rooney at 19 was going to be world class. What happened with Rooney is we had Ronaldo, and Sir Alex Ferguson made a choice as to who was going to be the talisman of the team. Rooney became the workhorse, Ronaldo became the stallion, and in hindsight he was probably right because Ronaldo's the better player, but it was a hell of a choice to make. But Rashford, when he's running through on goal, I know he missed a few chances yesterday, but he's so smooth and natural. I've not seen many British strikers with that sort of composure in many a year. He's got so much potential, and I love to see. I love seeing him up front. He can do a job on the wings, no doubt about it. But as I said so many times, it's like putting Pogba on the wing. His best position's in the middle, and Rashford's best position is as a striker, and I want to see more and more there. But going back to this point, which I actually think is a great point, and want to develop it on the Sunday Night Live show tonight at 8:30. What players come into the team after yesterday's performance for the Liverpool game, which is our biggest game of the season so far? Because if we win that, we're potentially putting ourselves into a title race. If Liverpool fans and Arsenal fans think they're in a title race, and we beat Liverpool and we're 2 points behind them, by default we're in a title race, whether you think we are or not. So it's a must-win game, and I think, barring injury, you've got to play Pogba, Herrera and Carrick as the midfield three, Martial on the left, Mkhitaryan on the right, and Zlatan up front. Yes, you've got Rooney, Mata and Rashford, who are brilliant players for us at the moment, but they've got to be on the bench. That's the beauty of having a team that's going to be title contenders and European Champions League contenders. You've got to have a very strong squad and a very strong bench, and I think we will have with that. So yeah, I don't put Wayne Rooney, whatever you think of him, legend, great, wish he'd gone a few years ago, whatever you think, he's our all-time goal scoring record and he deserves a lot of credit for that, but I wouldn't put him in the team. He's not in the first team for the Premier League. No, he's not the best number 10 we've got. He's certainly not the best centre forward we've got, and he's not the best left winger or right winger we've got, and he's not a midfielder, as Mourinho said. So he's on the bench. So I think it was a fantastic comment by the person who made it, and it got me thinking. And I think for many a week and months it's been like, if Rooney can get his form back, he's in the United team. He's just been out of form for 2 or 3 years. I think he's playing pretty well at the moment, but he's not in the team for me. And so get comments below, give us your thoughts on that. I just wouldn't put him in the team, and I think it would make us a worse team if we put him or Mata or Rashford into the team at the moment. I think impact off the bench, brilliant, absolutely superb, but you can't mess around with that midfield three of Pogba, Herrera and Carrick. I don't think we should be playing a proper number 10 against Liverpool anyway, because it'll be a battle in the midfield. and then you've got Zlatan to occupy their centre-backs, and then you've got Martial and Mkhitaryan out wide to cause their full-backs who like to attack a few issues. So I would agree with that, and I'd argue it with anybody. But that's the United stand, isn't it? That's what United stand's always about. It's about real fan opinion. I'm sure a lot of outlets in the media today, although what I would say in defence of Rooney, equals the all-time record for the biggest club in the world, and most of the press lead with the fact that falsely a Reading player didn't want to swap his shirt with him, which the Reading player has tweeted out and said that was not the case. But of course the Manchester United hating press, they come out with that nonsense instead of celebrating what is history was made yesterday. I was glad to watch it with all of you on the watch along, and whatever you think about Rooney, history was made, and it was a great thing to see. But harsh, fair, we've got to beat Liverpool next year, and our first team at the moment doesn't have Rashford, doesn't have Mata, and doesn't have Rooney in it. But I take that as a massive positive. It's not critical of them. They're all three of them are brilliant players, but it just shows you what a team we are building under Mourinho, and I'm very excited about that. I hope you've enjoyed this morning's United ramble on a Sunday. I think we'll probably try and, it's easier over Christmas to just be sporadic with it, but I think in the back to work and the back to normality structure of things with midweek games, etc., I think it fits in nice on a Sunday morning United ramble around 10:30, 11 o'clock, talking latest United news and the transfer stuff. So drop us a like if you like this new slot for it, and we will be live tonight at 8:30 with the Sunday night live show. I think Alex and Sander are going to join me for that, and obviously you on the live comments. Few things to talk about. We'll expand on this United side, whether Rooney and Mata and Rashford really should be in the first 11. I think it's it's nice to be talking about those sort of problems instead of is top four gone, which it clearly isn't. So I'll look forward to that with you. And obviously week ahead, 6:30 every weekday morning, I'll be doing a video like this, not on a ramble because it's dark, but from the house, 5 minutes live video about the latest transfer news overnight. And then Skype Goldbridge tomorrow night at 8:30 for you lot to phone in. Tuesday night, watch along an hour before the kick-off with the team news right the way through till full time. So you're getting a couple of videos a day at the moment. Like the video, subscribe, get commenting below. I'll have a read, and then we'll pick up some of those comments on the video for tonight as well, especially in relation to what we were just talking to. But enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you at 8:30.